In today's video, I'm going to show you how I create these tactics based off real world football. This is the step-by-step guide on how I make them as close as possible to real life. What I've got currently here is a bit of a Jose Mourinho Inter tactic from 2010. There's a couple of versions of it that I'm playing through at the minute, just getting to grips with it. You can see the results we've had so far. It's going pretty well, including the ultimate result away to Bayern Munich. Counter-attack heavy, which was what he was known for. So the question is, how have I came up with this tactic and style? Well, I've done a few videos of this type across this playlist here, mini saves and tactics, AC Milan, Parma, Napoli, Arsenal, United, and we've just done a City one as well. The City one's the easiest, and that's step one, and that is to watch the team in real life. I have an advantage with City because I'm a City fan, so I watch every match, so it was pretty easy to do a City one. But if it's not your club you're wanting to replicate, the best step is to just do a little bit of research online, and that's exactly what I'll do, and I'll show you a few of the sites that I use that have helped me big time. So let's take this one I'm working on at the minute. This is the Jose Mourinho Inter tactic from 2010 where he won the treble. So currently I landed on this as the main setup, and I've got this one for when they are playing against bigger teams. And this is one of the main sites that I use for most of the replication. It's Football Made Simple on YouTube. They've got a load of subscribers, over 600,000, so a lot of people are getting a use out of it. If you look down here, they do tactics from everybody. There's Pep's Barcelona 2010, Pep's Tactical Evolution, which is similar to the video that I've been using for Jose Mourinho. And here it is, Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan 2009-2010. So you can pretty much see how I've landed on my two formations from the video here. It's got two main formations. You can see the Serie A formation and the Champions League formation. And that's basically what I've mirrored in mine. So there's one of mine, which is what he used predominantly in Serie A, leading to over 2 goals a match and conceding less than a goal a game. And there's the Champions League one that he used against, most famously, away to Barcelona. So just by that, it helps me plan the shape of the team. And if you watch a bit more in a bit more detail, it gives you a good guide on roles and where players are going to be on the pitch. So here's how I landed on my midfield roles thanks to the research on this brilliant video. So you can see number 19 is Cambiaso, deep line playmaker. But if I play it on a little bit, you'll see number 8 was Thiago Motta. And when Cambiaso is marked, he dropped into a DLP role as well. So back to my version of it, you can see a lot of people would not have put the DLP in that role. Probably would have used a Cavallero because he tends to go a little bit wider. But now I've got 2 DLPs, one slightly deeper, replicating Cambiaso. And this one here is the Motta role, slightly wider. There it goes through Stankovic being the box-to-box, which is how I've landed on a Secunde Volante. Then the key role, Schneider. What do I do for my number 10? I thought you could see the amount of roaming he does, dropping deep. The video tells us he drops into midfield. He was the main focal point of the team, which led me to think he's an advanced playmaker all day. So back to my FM24 version, you can see I've got the Schneider role as an attacking midfielder, not an advanced playmaker. I'll explain why. I've added take more risks, get further forward and run from position to replicate an advanced playmaker, but Schneider took a lot of shots as well in that hole. If you change him to an advanced playmaker, for example, it means he's hard-coded to shoot less often, but I'm trying to replicate the Schneider role. So to replicate the advanced playmaker without being a playmaker, if this makes sense, we have an attacking midfielder with some extra PIs. And this sort of video goes through all the roles. You can see there down the bottom, just under my fat head, you've got 13 and 5, which is the attacking wing back, which is why I've got a wing back in my team. But on the other side, you've got a more solid fullback at the top because he doesn't do as much. It's just a brilliant way to build an FM version of a tactic you've seen in real life. But then I thought, hold on a minute, I remember them playing differently against Barcelona, and this is where this one came in, the 4-2-3-1 Champions League formation. Again, a video like this will just give you a good guide on how to recreate it. So, it's going to show you how it differs from the original formation. You can see there they take away the box-to-box midfielder, and then you replace with Goran Pandev, who is more an attacking, wider player, and they're going to shimmy number 9, TATO, out wide, and that's going to end up making the 4-2-3-1 kind of setup with the 2 central midfielders moving along like that. 1 single striker. Now, just watching this now, I can see a way I can even improve my tactics still further because they're pointing out that Pandev wasn't purely used to playing out wide, so he got a bit of support from number 10, the attacking midfielder Schneider, going mostly that way. So for me, that means I can then tweak my tactic. So I've got the number 10 role here, which will be Wesley Schneider, and I've got to take more risks and move into channels, but we want him to predominantly be on this side to help out this guy. So I'm going to start him there and basically tell him to stay a bit wider. So he's going to help out that role there. So I'm kind of replicating what we've just seen on that clip there. And this translated really well into the Champions League match. You can see now we're in our deep shape there of 4 across the back, the 5 in the middle with the 1 striker, playing on the counter attack now, just like we've seen when it finally gets won back by us in that solid shape. Look at that. Good setup, good defensive setup. Away against one of the best teams in Europe. When we do win it back, here, we can spring a counter attack. Ball over the top. Mistake from the defence. That got us a crucial 3rd goal. So I can't recommend that page enough if you want to recreate tactics. There's loads on there from the past, present day. They do stuff all the time. Superb. There's endless opportunities to do it, especially this time in the FM cycle where you're looking to keep things a little bit fresh. And another one I used, if you want to get a bit more geeky with it, is the coach's voice. And this is where Jose takes you through the exact way he beat Barcelona. And this is from his point of view as well, but he gets down and dirty with it, as you can see here. So you can get even more nailed on by listening to the great man himself. And I think coach's voice do that with a heap of tactics. Yep, they do. They've got an entire playlist there of masterclass videos. So there's going to be all sorts of different tactics that you can plug into FM, create them in your way, and then you've got yourself a replica. Now there's one final key step. So now you've done your research, you've got a good grasp of things on what tactic you want to do and how it's going to look, but in some cases it's just not going to work in FM in the match engine, and you need to make it a bit more FM friendly. For example, in the Jose tactic here, I've got them playing higher tempo. Not necessarily he would do that all the time, he might slow the game down a bit, but we'll keep the higher tempo. And there's an alternate version for games where we want to get a bit attacking with mentality of attacking, so you might need to get a little bit funky to make it FM friendly. But if you want to go for a pure replication, you do have all the tools there at your fingertips. And so far, touch wood, this version is doing pretty damn well. We're top of Serie A, we're top of the Champions League group, and we're in the quarterfinals of the Italian Cup, and we've still got the Super Cup to play. I'll do a separate video all about this tactic, most likely. So there's no special trick to it. It's basically just watching stuff and then bringing it over to FM. Now there'll be differences in roles for different people, but that's the beauty of football. It's opinion based. That's what I've gone for. There is different versions of it. For example, the Astiani role, which is Thiago Motta. When Thiago Motta didn't play in Mourinho's team, it was Sully Montari. He had a bit of a different role. He was more of a Calorero, is that how you say it? Stroke Mazzala, but the main role is there. So I'm going to carry on playing through this. If we get a good success this season, I will share it. It'll be on my Patreon right now with all my other tactics and jazz. It's all on there. Thanks for supporting Patreon. Record numbers in Patreon at the minute, by the way, so thank you for that. It's a big help. But for now, I will leave the link to the YouTube channel we've just seen in the description. Get over there, subscribe to that. It's well worth your time.